Okay, so I'm going to show you how to go about making the exploded view for the pegboard toy. This last page cannot be completed until you have finished the assembly. Okay, so you have to get your assembly made in order for you to pull the pieces apart and also create the parts list. All right. This is also a reminder that you need to use these 10 sheets that you've been using to build the pegboard toy as your key. So this is exactly what you're going to be submitting, but of your own created parts to the classroom. Okay, so if you have any questions about what it needs to look like, or the assembly, or the dimensions, or where things need to be laid out, it needs to be laid out like this one. Okay, so what I'm going to do is over here in Inventor, I'm going to go ahead and hit New. Then I'm going to click on Standard IPN. IPN stands for Inventor Presentation, and then hit Create. When I create that, it's going to pull up the project folder, and for some reason it keeps going to Wooden Toy for me, but I need to go to the pegboard toy, and it shouldn't be a problem for you. And then you need to open up your assembly. So this is my pegboard toy assembly. So I'm going to open that up, and it might take a few seconds because it's pulling all your pieces. When it does finally load, you'll see that you'll have your assembly inside of here, and then it looks like you have, this allows you to control the animation down here. The only button that you really need to worry about is this Tweak Components tool. And so when I click on that, it's essentially waiting for you to click on a part and pull it away from the other pieces. So I'm going to go ahead and click on this side, and you can see that my X, my Y, and my Z axis have pulled up. And then I have these little arrows, and these arrows allow me to pull the pieces apart. So I'm going to pull this apart, and that's all I need. So I'm going to go ahead and hit the check mark. Grab Tweak Components again, and this time I'm going to grab this part, and I'm going to drag it straight up. Just like so. Same thing for this one. Drag it straight up. And then finally, this round peg, drag it straight up. So all those pieces have been pulled apart. I'm going to rotate around a little bit and do the same thing for this one and pull this piece apart. Check. Alright, so this is my exploded view. That's all that it takes. It should only take you a few minutes to complete this, and then you're going to want to go ahead and save it as your exploded view, and then hit save. Okay? Alright, so once you get your exploded view completed, back over here in the pegboard working drawing, so you can see that I have all my other sheets made at this point. My last sheet, sheet number 10, is where I'm going to add my exploded view. So just like before, you click on base to go find your stuff. And it's already pulled my my exploded view rather. And if it doesn't, then you can just click and go find the file that you need. I'm going to go ahead and do an isometric view of it and scale it up a little bit, so maybe half scale. That looks pretty good to me. And then go ahead and get that placed. Anything in isometric needs to be shaded, so I'm going to add that color back. And then the last thing that you need at this point is the parts list. And the parts list is under the Annotate tab, right here where it says Parts List. And the parts list is going to, so it's asking, well, where do you want to pull the parts from? Well, I want to pull it from this. So I'm going to say OK. And it has pulled your parts. Place it in the bottom left-hand corner. And if we want to get rid of that description, I believe you can double click it and add or subtract filters. In this case, we don't need the description column, so right here where it says filter chooser, I'm going to go ahead, or column chooser rather, I'm going to go ahead and click on description and remove that and say OK. And so it deletes that column, hit apply, and then now you have your parts list and it's been added back onto the sheet with everything that you need in order to create this pegboard.